Thank you so much for joining us here. I'm Netta Iranpour. Here at CBS 8, we are working for you. We're getting to the bottom of problems you've asked us about, and we're looking for solutions. And we want to begin with a busy holiday weekend for travelers. AAA estimates that a record 4.5 million Southern Californians, 4.5 million, will be driving over this long 4th of July holiday weekend. So even if you plan on hitting the road perhaps later this summer, there are some things you should know before you get out on the highway. CBS 8's Abby Black working for you, and she shows us how to make sure your trip doesn't end on the side of the road.
Before you hit the road this summer, you want to do more than just check what's underneath the hood. You also want to check what's hitting the pavement. From tire pressure to tread depth, we're working for you, helping you get a grip on tire safety so your next road trip doesn't go flat. Tire shops are buzzing ahead of July 4th weekend.
Are you going on a road trip soon?
More than likely, yes.
Joe LaDuca's getting his tire pressure checked for free at Discount Tire before hitting the road.
Your right front tire is at 28 and your left rear tire is at 29.
But what should Joe's tires be?
You want to look at the door jamb.
Store manager Marvin Martinez shows Joe's PSI should be 36. In hot weather, that changes as tires expand.
For every 10-degree change, your PSI will change once. So it's super important that you get them checked once per month.
Checking pressure either with a manual gauge or at a tire shop every 30 days saves you money. Now, according to the EPA, cars burn 10% more fuel on underinflated tires.
Something that's critical for when you go on a trip, you always want to make sure that you have a good spare.
Most cars don't include spares, but if you have one, check its quality and don't drive more than 100 miles and faster than 50 miles per hour.
This tire should have at least 60 pounds. Also, the tire date is going to be stamped on the side of the tire.
Martinez recommends replacing tires every 6 years, regardless of mileage.
So it's critical to check your tread.
And shows us the penny trick for tread depth.
You can take a penny, you flip it upside down, and you put it in between the tread. And if you can see Lincoln's head, you know you need some tires.
And check your odometer. Rotate tires every 6,000 miles for safety inspections.
When we do the rotation, we inspect for nails, punctures. We look for anything that's going to keep you safer on the road.
A little prep now means peace of mind on the road.
All right, you take care, Joe. You have a wonderful day, all right?
Working for you to stay on track, Abby Black, CBS 8.
Oh, good information right there. Auto experts also recommend checking your battery before you head out. Hot weather can shorten battery life to just 3.5 years. Also, check those fluids like the oil, brake fluid, coolant, windshield, washer fluid, and make sure you leave on a full tank of gas. Pack an emergency kit in case you might get stranded on the road. So you see those tips on your screen right there. Hopefully that'll help you out. Meantime, City of San Diego now marking a milestone after it recently completed 500 miles of street paving and repairs over the last 12 months. This milestone includes more than 340 miles of slurry seal, more than 140 miles of asphalt overlay, and 24 miles of resurfacing by city crews. The city says the work covers about 8% of San Diego's entire road network, making this one of the city's most productive years when it comes to paving. We have an update now on a story that we brought you last month. There's now growing frustration over what's perceived as a lack of enforcement of overnight parking rules along Mission Bay. And now San Diego police are taking action. CBS 8's Steffi Roach is working for you and shows us how this crackdown appears to be targeting these larger vehicles.
The San Diego Police Department says they received the most complaints and reports about people camping and living in RVs at beach areas, including Mission Bay.
It's a sound no one wants to hear. But at Mission Bay Park, hundreds of citations, like this, get issued for various parking violations. The abundance of RVs in the lots, a headache for people trying to park, including Earl Jackson, who walks at Mission Bay Park every day.
Well, parking is real tough, and Mission Bay Beach has been known for charity running events and, kids coming here, particularly the 4th of July coming up. There's not room, and with the campers parked on both sides of the Marina Drive east, it's not safe for people to be on that street.
In late May, San Diego opened the H Barracks lot, which, combined with 4 other city-funded safe parking lots, nearly doubled the program's capacity to just under 400 spaces, including room for oversized vehicles like RVs. With space available at the H Barracks, police can enforce the oversized vehicle ordinance, which restricts overnight parking of large vehicles and RVs between the hours of 2 and 6 a.m. While the beach areas are regularly patrolled by SDPD's Northern, Western, and Neighborhood Policing divisions, the department is aiming to dedicate more resources to tackle the issue of parking violations in the beach communities, especially ahead of the 4th of July weekend.
Our goal is that everyone in the city has an access in terms of equitable, free, and safe access to the beach as we move into the summer season.
And for park goers like Jackson, he's optimistic about this effort to curb parking violations.
I hope they're successful because it is, it's a lot of trash here. That's not the worst part. It's taking away the beautiful part that we have here, and they've destroyed it.
Meanwhile, the department adds that any reports of violations should be made through the city's Get It Done app. For now, reporting at Mission Bay, I'm Steffi Roche, CBS 8.
A new law has officially gone into effect here in California. This is aiming to bolster safety in bars and nightclubs. Under the new legislation, all bars and nightclubs across are now required to provide drink lids. This is for anyone who requests one, a lid. This measure aims to combat drink spiking incidents and significantly enhance overall safety. Supporters of the law hope it'll serve as an additional deterrent and provide peace of mind for people concerned about their drinks being messed with.
That's the reality. Is I'm scared, constantly about watching my drink.
Safety is the most important thing for us because if you don't feel safe somewhere, you're not going to go there.
Mandates that bars post safety notices about drink lids and test kits to raise awareness and to protect customers. Some businesses say this could mean an extra cost for them. Of course, right now we are in the middle of summer. Every year we hear about children and pets being left in hot cars. Coming up, what California laws say about how you can help save a life. Plus, are you familiar with all the vital information that's given during a wildfire? We break down the meaning behind some of the terms that firefighters use during an emergency. Welcome back. And now that June gloom is behind us, we're in the heart of July and summer. We're starting to see temperatures heat up across San Diego. With that comes a warning about leaving your pets in vehicles and what to do if you see one in distress. CBS 8's Shannon Handy working for you on what the laws are, and she shows us how quickly a hot car can turn deadly.
It's always dangerous to leave your child or pet inside of a hot car. In the case of animals, their body temperature heats up a lot faster than ours.
It's a warning the Rancho Costa Humane Society wants everyone to keep in mind, especially during these hot summer months.
It's like an oven in the car.
Cars trap heat easily and can jump to over 100 degrees in just seconds. To demonstrate, I got into one with the rescue shelter's community outreach manager, Nikki Ploss.
It gets hot quick. I'm already feeling it.
Even on a cloudy day, in just 2 minutes and 2 seconds, the temperature jumped from 79 degrees to 111, enough to kill not only a child, but an animal as well.
It doesn't really even have to be that hot to leave a dog in a hot car, a person, a baby, a toddler, all particularly susceptible to heat.
According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, each year heat stroke claims the lives of nearly 40 children in cars. As for dogs and other animals, the numbers are even higher. PETA says so far this year, 20 has suffered a heat-related death. San Diego Humane Law Enforcement averages between 300 and 500 animal and vehicle calls annually. Last year, they received 578. I reported on one of those calls back in 2015 outside UCSD Medical Center. In that case, the dog survived. The owner was given a stern warning.
Thank you, guys. I'm sorry.
So what should you do if you see a dog in a hot car? First, ensure it's in distress. Signs include excessive panting and lethargy. Then try locating the owner. If you can't, write down the time, temperature, as well as the make and model of the vehicle and call law enforcement. Finally, if you feel like the dog needs to be rescued immediately, California law allows you to do so.
As of 2016, the Right to Rescue Act allows a citizen working under good faith as a good Samaritan to act and remove the animal, break the window if needed, but you do need to call law enforcement prior and you need to stay on scene.
A similar law protects citizens who rescue children from hot cars. Humane Law Enforcement Lieutenant Regina Price suggests looking for an unlocked door before breaking a window. More importantly, she urges people to leave their pets at home instead of in a hot car.
A lot of times people just don't think they're going to be away from the car that long. That's when it can get really dangerous.
And somebody said, well, you know, if you leave the windows cracked open a little bit, still hot enough to kill a pet.
Working for you, Shanna Handy, CBS 8.
Yeah, I don't think leaving the windows cracked will do the trick. We are in the middle of fire season. We've already brought you many breaking news stories of brush fire after brush fire and how firefighters attack the flames. They go from every angle. But do you know what it means when a fire is 90% contained, for example, or a fire's forward rate of spread stopped? Does that stand out to you as what that means? CBS 8's Abby Black is working for you. She's breaking down these fire terms so you know what they really mean for your safety.
When fires break out across San Diego County, we throw out terms like containment and the forward rate of spread has been stopped. But what does that mean? It can get confusing. So I came straight here to CAL FIRE to get the answers. Tonight, we're working for you on the fire terminology you need to know.
First things first, how do fires get their names? Well, it's usually the street or landmark where it started. Dispatchers keep names short for quick radio communication, like last week's Lakeside fire that was Monty, not El Monte fire.
In the event a fire is named a multi-syllable word or two words, that could delay radio traffic just based off of the length of the name.
Now, for the terms you hear most, contained, forward rate of spread has been stopped, controlled, and out. CAL FIRE Captain Robert Johnson says contained means the fire is surrounded by barriers, either fire lines crews built or natural breaks like roads, lakes, and ridges. Now, here's where it gets tricky. When you hear 25% contained, that means barriers surround a quarter of the fire's edge, but that does not mean it's 25% out.
If you have 25% containment, 50% containment, it doesn't mean that we're out of the woods yet. There still is hot spots that tend to be burning within the perimeter.
Here's a question that firefighters get a lot. Why does containment remain the same? Well, they say containment can stay at 25% while a fire keeps growing. It all depends on the barrier and whether the forward rate of spread has stopped.
This does not mean the fire is contained or controlled. It just means that the predominant active side of the fire is not actively growing.
Controlled means 100% contained with flames extinguished and fuel cleared, but crews still watch for hot spots.
And once those hot spots are extinguished and safe, then the incident commander may say the fire is now under control.
Finally, out means no hot spots, no smoke, the fire is completely dead.
Once a fire has 100% containment lines around the perimeter of the fire and all the hot spots within the fire's perimeter have been extinguished and the fire is controlled, now the fire is considered to be out.
Now that you understand these fire terms, you can better follow what firefighters are up against and how it may impact your livelihood the next time a wildfire hits San Diego. Working for you in Rancho San Diego, Abby Black, CBS 8.
And now here's a question for you. How often do you look at your phone while behind the wheel? Be honest. Coming up, how California is enforcing even stricter phone laws to curb distracted driving. San Diego taxpayers continue to shell out millions of dollars over the city's crumbling sidewalks. City Council recently approved a $2.5 million settlement to a man who fell into a large hole. It happened on a stretch of sidewalk right along 5th Avenue in Hillcrest. This was December of 2022. The man suffered serious injuries to both legs. The settlement is just the latest in a series of major payouts to pedestrians injured on San Diego's sidewalks. Public records show since the start of this year, San Diego taxpayers have paid nearly $4 million to settle trip and fall lawsuits. We have more about the sidewalk settlements on our website, cbs8.com. Click on the link to this story. A new California no-touch law is in effect. So this builds on the state's existing hands-free law, which makes it illegal to use your phone while you're driving. CBS 8's Alex Lai explains what this means for San Diego drivers.
The California Court of Appeals says just holding your phone without tapping or swiping it is enough to break the law and get pulled over. Even holding your phone at a stoplight to check a map counts. But some San Diegans think that's going too far.
I think it is a distraction, but I feel if you're at a stoplight and you need to navigate your maps, that's okay to do.
Texting while driving is bad. Phone distractions. But yeah, looking at your phone for navigation, sometimes you need to do that.
The California law aims to reduce distracted driving, which AAA says is linked to more than 3,500 deaths every year.
I actually totaled my car one time because I was looking at my phone because my phone was ringing.
But there is an exception. You can make a single tap or swipe on your phone if it's mounted to your car like this. You can also use voice commands like Siri and Google Assist. But not everyone thinks that's realistic.
I mean, you can touch it and then hit voice, but that's two taps right there.
Your hands have to go somewhere, the radio, the lights, the glove compartment, the seatbelt. Anything might happen while somebody's driving.
Built-in car touchscreens aren't affected by this rule.
Because you're also touching the screen, so it's kind of the same.
The base fine for this violation is $20 for first offense and $50 for the second. The San Diego Sheriff's Office tells CBS 8 in part, should the driver be observed driving unsafely or cause a collision, they could be cited for whatever unsafe vehicle maneuver was observed or be found at fault for the unsafe vehicle motion that caused the collision. To stay safe and avoid getting a ticket, use a phone mount, enable voice controls, and set your GPS and music before you drive. Alex Lai, CBS 8.
Important information right there to be careful. San Diego County taxpayers shelled out nearly $95 million in overtime for the sheriff's office last year. Yeah, in overtime. State data shows it's the highest amount in at least a decade and the highest since the state began tracking overtime pay. So let's give you a look here at the numbers. In 2020, the department paid just over $40 million in overtime. In 2021, that number rose to $46 million. You see the bar graph right here. By 2022, right there in the middle, overtime costs jumped to $73 million, then over $90 million in 2023, and then that last bar last year, the total climbing to nearly $95 million in OT. With 4,700 employees, that averages out to more than $20,000 in overtime. That's for every employee. The Sheriff's Department blames high vacancies for the surge in overtime and says it's working to bring those costs down. For a closer look at the data and the department's plan now, be sure to go to our website, cbs8.com. All the information is right there. And that is going to do it for us here on CBS 8. Of course, remember, if there is something you want us to look into, here's the email. Email us at workingforyou@cbs8.com. Hope you have a wonderful day.